Welcome to the Marketing Drive. I'm Dan Nadelko, and it is the end of the year Marketing Drive on an extremely, I don't know if you can see in the background, the roads are not the greatest at the moment here in southern Ontario. Looks like we got a bit of a dump, and some people are paying the price. But drive slow, drive carefully, we'll be fine. On today's Marketing Drive, I wanted to talk a little bit about, not trends, because I don't like the word trends for 2017, but there's been, 2016, especially in the world of digital marketing, has been full of change this particular year, and I think this year probably a little bit more, just my observations. Working day to day in digital marketing on client work, our own projects, using all of the different channels and the platforms that we use, this year has seen, I think, some really, really substantial changes. Now, you could probably look back every single year and say the same thing, but I feel that this year there was a huge maturity that happened on a lot of social media platforms where they were all kind of rocking and rolling before, not without purpose. I wouldn't say without purpose, but they were certainly maturing, and we kind of saw the extent of that maturity kind of come into play this year. So, let's maybe look back a little bit. Google, start with the big G. Google introduced the caffeine platform. I'm probably going to miss a couple of these milestones, Penguin 3, Penguin 4, all of that, but I think I'm going to hit on the generalities of it. So we saw the caffeine platform, which really underpins Google's infrastructure, roll out, and that really put an end to your quote-unquote Google update when your rankings would update, since that happens now in almost real time. Those rankings move around. There aren't major shifts and ranking updates that are deployed. There's thousands and thousands of PageRank algorithm updates that happen. They've said over 1,000, so I actually would trust that would be the case given the size and the scale of the search engine itself and the number of people working on it and the platform it's running on. We saw the introduction of that. We saw the introduction of Penguin, what I would say is very effectively, and I had been involved with a number of projects who we're living in a state of denial about what Penguin means, why content is important, why SEO and just site development best practices are extremely important, and they got penalized for it. A lot of old world thinking about what content means. Is content important for the user? Which it is, absolutely. And really kind of sorry if I'm trying to pay attention to the road as well as talk to you at the same time, so I have to take priority on the driving, unfortunately. The holistic approach of SEO, which I think is often forgotten. Search engine optimization is not a thing that is completed. It is a process that takes the user into account, and as such, it's more closely aligned with customer experience and user experience design. Information architecture is more than architecting the physical structure of a site, but how the information flows back through to the user. And if Google can understand your site, a human being can understand your site, and I hope that you're taking the time to consider the user in terms of their understanding of your site or your product, how they interact with it, what stage of interaction they're at with you. But what we saw with Penguin being released, Caffeine being released, now the Google Mobile First Index, we're seeing, and that's another one, but we're seeing a massive shift where, Google's algorithms are really, really becoming more and more closely aligned with what I would call the customer experience. So you have to adjust your search engine optimization strategies, for example, to work in line with that. If you ignore that and continue to develop pages that have content for the sake of having content, I think you're going to be spinning your wheels without the definitive plan of what you want to have happen when someone lands on your site through a search engine, which is still the number one beyond direct, is still the number one source of traffic for almost every site that we work on, and we work very hard to make sure that that happens. So what's happening with Google? Well, in review of 2016 in November, Google's mobile first index came out, and that I wrote a blog post on that with some detail. And what that really means is that there are in fact two different Google indexes now. When you visit on a mobile device, you will see different search listings and different results than you would see if you're coming from a laptop, desktop, or even a tablet device. And mobile first is extremely important because it is the growing channel people have to interact with you online. Again, the simple analogy is you're maybe watching this on your phone. If you're not watching this on your phone, I'm going to bet that your phone is no more than an arm's length away from you. So that shift late this year heralds a lot of big changes in how we design sites, how we design the content for sites, how we deliver those sites to people on mobile devices, and make sure that we're tailoring the experiences, that we're using things like accelerated mobile pages or AMP pages. And so those are huge changes. Last year we didn't see those types of changes. We did see other changes in 2015 to 2016. But from 2016 to 2017, our entire content strategy needs to be shifted and adjusted to really work with a lot of that maturity, especially on the Google side. So your content has to change, and the way that you design a site has to change, being mobile first, possibly even custom app development, which is the primary way that people interact with sites and applications on their mobile devices. So that's going to be a huge consideration for 2017. And again, I'm getting away from this whole the biggest trends of 2017. These are really my observations working in the industry and working in it every single day for 12 to 14 hours. And what we're going to be doing at Honeypot Marketing, and what we're going to be doing with our own projects, including Marketer Knows and the Knows Network, to accommodate a lot of those changes. So that's Google. It's going to be mobile first, mobile app development, search optimization in-app, so iTunes Store, Google Play, taking into account that Google now has the Google Pixel, which is going to be probably a rising kind of star for Google. But again, just on the mobile front, is really tailoring a mobile experience primarily rather than secondarily, and moving into the app development space. And really understanding when you design pages specifically on your site, whether they're lead acquisition pages or information pages or anchor pages, that the device is important for the layout of your content and how people interact with it. Obviously, screen size is a massive issue. Smaller screen sizes should have content tailored for people reading on small screens. And you should also, move towards video, things that are consumable on smaller devices, understanding how people use devices. When you're mobile, you're typically on the go. You're not going to read a 5-page document, right? You may watch video. It needs to be scannable. All of those types of things. The second big consideration, so that's Google. I think I'll put a pin in that one for now. The next biggest player in the game, in the industry, is Facebook. Facebook has come a long way in 2016. In particular, sorry about that. That's the heater. Facebook went from having what I would call a fairly embryonic advertising platform into having something very sophisticated, and obviously they've been pouring tons of resources into it. But Facebook custom audiences, the open graph, all of the different channels that are available through Facebook now, in particular how Instagram interaction works within the Facebook environment, which is actually very powerful. It's powerful for brand, it's powerful for conversion. It should not be dismissed. It is an integrated part of the Facebook experience, whether it appears that way on the front side or not. It very much is. The ability for Facebook to Facebook released their new Pixel, which can be installed on sites, and then you can gain additional advanced levels of information about your users, about how they're interacting, how you can remarket and retarget to them, how you can build out those custom audiences and refine those custom audiences, and also how visibility works on the Facebook platform. All of those things have accelerated more in 1 year than they probably have in the combined 3 years before that. So Facebook really matured. It's matured into its mobile space and the messaging space, and messaging, again, seeing the rise of Facebook Messenger, how often it's used even in my own daily life is pretty shocking. The ability for Facebook to release something and make it ubiquitous in a month is shocking, but it is what it is, and it does happen that way. So one of the things that's going to be really important in 2017 on the Facebook side is the messaging side. One of the biggest ones is the rollout of Stripe and PayPal payments being accepted via messengers for e-commerce retailers on Facebook specifically, and Facebook will not be charging a fee to do that. So that means that your customers that interact on Facebook will then have the ability to pay you via Messenger using Stripe and PayPal. So that really kind of accelerates the importance, or how you could use things like a Facebook Messenger bot to interact with your customers for resale, for purchase, and actually accept the payment in a seamless way on the Facebook platform while it still flows through. It's a little bit of a different interaction than you would have on your e-commerce store. That's coming, and that's going to be huge in 2017 for Facebook in general. The second thing, third maybe thing, again, I remember the vlog where I said I was going to stop numbering things, because when I'm driving I typically forget what number I'm on. The next big thing for Facebook will be, oh darn, no, don't forget what you were saying because you're stuck in snow. Oh no, I got it back. Facebook doubling down on video. So one of the silent big sleepers of 2016 was Facebook introducing their updated video interactions. One of the biggest things that I think people don't know or haven't noticed is that Facebook now has a very similar media library to YouTube. It's obviously not a YouTube. YouTube is still kind of the king of video. But Facebook, again, has the ability to create and move people into their platform very quickly, and it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. But Facebook video libraries, playlists, how video is able to, I mean, Facebook really went to being a video platform. Just scroll through your newsfeed and you'll see it. Facebook gives priority to video. Video is extremely shareable. You've seen the rise of so CNN with K-File, the format of the call it snackable video that uses text overlays and animation, so that they do not have to have audio specifically. People will read the video. All of that happened in the, I would say, the latter half, really. It was around, but the latter half of 2016 really saw people really engaging with it, and you saw the newsfeed adjust to that. And in addition to that, Facebook's instant articles. So you saw Facebook kind of really changing its strides and mechanisms with how people interact, and that's just going to continue. I see video becoming more and more important. Cross-posting a video, that new feature on Facebook with brands and brand partners, the ability to cross-post between two brands seamlessly is extremely important for partnerships, because that digital marketing in 2016, partnerships have become more and more critical and more welcomed by everybody in order to reach the right audiences. So that, I think, is going to continue. Facebook is going to continue to double down, I think, on new ways for businesses to interact with individuals, which will then allow them to kind of filter out the noise of Facebook. That's always been kind of a big thing since the Facebook brand page was introduced, making it even more critical for you as a brand and as a marketer to connect with the right individuals, not the most individuals. So if you've got a brand that has 5,000 customers, call it 5,000, and you have a brand page that has 1 million fans, I think you're hitting the wrong stride. You're hitting the wrong audience. So what we want to do, and the tools that Facebook's going to introduce will allow us to find the people that would be interested in our product, find the people that would be interested in our lead magnets and our content, and open a conversation and open the relationship. So that's what I think Facebook is going to be driving for. So that's why you need to drive for engagement. You need to drive for the right audience. You need to develop ad campaigns and campaigns that are targeting people based on a lot more than male 18 to 34 years old in Canada or the US. That's too general. And use things like affinity audiences and different ways to reach people. And you can build those audiences by installing those Facebook pixels throughout your site, throughout all the different touch points that you're using. Twitter had an interesting year. Fascinating to watch Twitter. A bit of a cesspool. It is what it is. That's as a user, it's a bit of a cesspool. As a platform, it went, Twitter went through the will Yahoo buy them, will Google buy them, will Facebook buy them, nobody's going to buy them, Jack Dorsey is back, Twitter is dead, long live Twitter. And then you see the US presidential election and you see the media outlets. I mean, there isn't a more, and maybe some of it is because of Donald Trump, but there is not a bigger platform that is used by Twitter than politics and current events. It gives Twitter a snowflake status. No, it's not going to quote unquote air quotes beat Facebook, but that's like saying the fish outran the dog. I mean, they're just two different things altogether. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Twitter in 2017. Beyond the finances of that company, they've got some really smart leadership that's really savvy. And they are an extremely valuable part of the media communications landscape, in particular in politics and world events. So, kind of TBD on that, but, you saw Twitter release Moments. It's actually kind of a great way to consume news. A lot of changes in how users can interact on Twitter to see threads and conversations. I think one of the things that Twitter has to really look at, where engagement if you're looking at the revenue model of a marketing platform, you're going to see that Twitter has some work to do because of things like anonymity, because of things like verified profiles, because of things like bullying and cyberbullying. Those mechanisms that have been issues for Twitter in the past that Facebook has actually done a very good